What's up everybody, it's your boy Lucas here from Team NoCo Yu-Gi-Oh! And Team FTK, and today guys we're going to be going over the, my Invoked Mekk Knight, Invoked Mekk Knight deck profile that I used at the 2018 YCS Chicago. Now, granted, they still give you these, just as a heads up everybody, for everybody that ends up going down here, they still give you these, and look how beautiful it is. Oh man, it's really shiny. Yeah, the lightage out here is really weird, but yeah, anyways, we're going to be going over the deck profile. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it. I made it to day 2. I got extremely close to top 32. I was maybe like, I don't know, like a turn or so away from actually getting it, and some guy managed to knock me out during the 4th round, so there goes that idea. But yeah, anyways guys, hope you guys do enjoy this deck profile. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. It was decently consistent. This is the playmat that I used over there. YCS Belgium, August 31st to September 1st, 2013. This is probably one of the rarest playmats that I have, just because it's a really big one out there. But anyways, we're going to be going over the deck profile. Don't forget guys to check out Team NoCo and Yu-Gi-Oh! Down in the description box below. And also Karatula 3, forgot to mention that. And let's get going on it. So the monsters you're going to be running is 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. Excuse me, as I managed to cough a lung out. Ugh, I don't know what's going on with my throat. It's been really acting up these past few days, but you're running 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. He's a really good card to play in the deck. Basically, you summon him, you can search for Invocation, or you can drop him from your hand, target an Invoke Fusion monster on your side of the field, and it basically gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the turn, so he's good for either boosting or searching, so I ran 3 of him. A lot of people tried to Ash it, so that's why you have Called by the Grave, just in case. 2 copies of Blue Sky. Blue Sky is, let's see if I can zoom you guys up a little. Somewhat. But Blue Sky was really helpful in the deck. He was really fun to play. You basically special summon him to his same column as like another card here on your opponent's side. And basically he searches, so I use him to search for like Purple Nightfall or Indigo Eclipse or even Red Moon, just in case if I want to, start getting that engine going. Plus he's level 5, so if I like normal summon like an Ash, I can go into like a rank 8 Synchro. So yeah, he was fun, a lot of fun to play. Double Purple Nightfall. I only ran 2 on 2 because I used to run 3 Sky and 3 Purple, and that got out of hand. I wasn't able to really like get my own hand consistent, so that's why I dropped it down to 2-2 before I left. And yeah, doing Nightfall is really fun because you can target him or any other Mekk Knight on your field, banish it, and basically add a Mekk Knight from your deck to your hand, so he basically searches for more Mekk Knights just in case if the ones on your field, poof, they're gone, they're not there anymore. So I ran 2 copies of him. I ran 1 Indigo Eclipse. Fun card to play, absolutely incredible. I love every part about him because you can summon him, target another Mekk Knight you control, including him, and just scoot him over to like another zone. And then 1 copy of Red Moon, because Red Moon was really helpful in the game. He basically targets a Mekk Knight in the graveyard, banishes it, and destroys a card on the field. So he was kind of good, getting rid of all that back row hate that people don't like, or just monsters that are really annoying. Let's see, 2 copies of Ash. For your hand traps, you're running 2 Ash because Sky Strikers are still a thing. Burning Abyss was out there, surprisingly, and it actually did decently good, but somebody ended up winning. I think it was with Lunalight. Yeah, somebody ran with one with Danger Lunalight. Like, how on earth do you win with that deck? Danger Engine I could see, but Lunalight's like, how? Like, I don't know. Anyways, I was running him because, Dangers would be special summoning from the deck, adding along with Burning Abyss, so that's why I use Ash, just to get stuff out of the way. Effect Veilers, just because Sky Strikers were really annoying. Thunder Dragon Colossus was a big problem. So, my opponent's turn, it's like, I could use a card on their turn to basically search, so I just dropped an Effect Veiler on Thunder Dragon Colossus and kept them from using its effects, so that way I was able to search for once, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed going against Thunder Dragons with this. I'm needing a 3rd copy of this card, but I ran 2 so far, and that is Artifact Scythe. Scythe is a lot better than Moral Tech because Moral Tech destroys a card on the field. Scythe, basically, if you summon it on your opponent's turn, it stops them from using their extra deck, and knowing a lot of meta decks out there, they use their extra deck like none other, and so you want to run 3 copies of Scythe in there, because if it's blown up on a field, or if you activate basically, if you manage to activate Sanctum, then you could just summon it on your opponent's turn and just make them rage on that point. They don't like it. They really don't like Scythe. I don't see why people don't like Scythe. He's such a funny card. All right, 2 copies of Meltdown. For your spells, you're running 2 copies of Meltdown. Meltdown's really fun to play because whenever you fusion summon an invoke monster, your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to the activation. So the only way they can is of getting rid of Meltdown, otherwise, you know, they're kind of stuck with that. 3 copies of the best spell in the deck, Invocation. Love this card. This card's absolutely incredible to basically fusion summon, and then with an invoke monster, you target basically Alistair's banish, shuffle Invocation back into the deck, and add Alistair back to the hand, so it basically recycles Alistair into your hand, so you're able to, you know, either boost it up or use Macabre to negate a monster effect. But yeah, it was a really good card. I think a few people kept me from trying to play this, but I figured out ways of going around them because Mekk Knights, I mean not Mekk Knights, Invokes. Invokes are absolutely ridiculous. 2 cards that I ran at the 200th YCS. I ran this deck at 200th YCS, but it didn't have like some of the new banlist stuff in it. It had the older stuff, but 2 copies of Book of Law. Book of Law is an absolutely, it's absolutely busted because basically I can like attack with Macabre. Okay, it's attacks at 35 because I dropped an Alistair on it. Then activate Book of Law during the battle phase. Go into Elysium. Bam, nail them for game. They don't like when people can try an OTK with Book of the Law, but I ran 2 copies because seeing the 3rd one, it's like it'll pop up in your hand a bunch and then you won't really need it till, you know, the right time comes. So I ran 2 Book of the Law, 3 of the best counter cards that you can play in the deck, 3 copies of Called by the Grave. What can I say? This card is incredible because if your opponent activates like Ghost Ogre, if they activate like Ash, you chain Called by the Grave, or even Droll and Lockbird because Trickstars out there got really annoying. You basically play Called by the Grave, which basically stops their monster effect from going off in the graveyard, and then you're able to actually do something. So yeah, 3 Called by the Graves are really good in the deck. 2 copy of World Legacy Succession. I like it. It targets a monster in the graveyard and special summons it to a link zone, so it doesn't really matter a monster or if it's a link monster, just any monster in your graveyard. You special summon it to a zone of link monster you control points to, so it's really fun to kind of get your monsters back out. And then 2 copies of Limiter Removal. Now, back at the 200th YCS, I was running 3 Macabre, 2 Elysium, a Reproducus, and stuff like that, and basically Reproducus was here, Elysium was under, and I made Reproducus become a machine, so I had 1 Elysium and 2 Macabres on the field, and then I activated Limiter and just swung for the game, because Limiter doubles the attack of all machines on the field, and Macabre is a machine type monster, and I made Elysium a machine type, and my opponent gave me the most terrified look. He's like, oh no, and I'm like, bye-bye. So yeah, Limiter Removal's fun. The only downside of it is the fact that, basically the fact that, you know, your monsters are going to be, the monsters that you use for it are basically going to be annihilated, ending your turn, so that's always a bit of an issue. On to traps. You guys are going to like this section. We're running not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Practically the best hand trap out there. Still, nobody's ever gotten, this card hasn't even been hit on the ban list yet, even though it's super good. Because basically, ending battle phase, if you have it in your hand, you can activate it. Like if you have no cards on the field, you activate it. Then what its effect does is your opponent chooses basically the same number of cards you control, plus it on the field. They choose that many they hold on to, and the rest are banished, so he kind of evens out the field. And if you have no cards on your field and you play Evenly Matched, then they have to choose 1 card that they want to keep and the rest go poof. So I ran 3 evenly. People didn't like this card. They absolutely hate this card just because it resets the field, their field, and they didn't really like it. 3 copies of Artifact Sanctum. Perfect card. If it's destroyed, you target a spell or trap they control, blow it up. Then you can activate this on your opponent's turn and basically end up going for Scythe, because Scythe on their turn stops them from using their extra deck. So Sanctum was a lot of fun. Very fun to play, especially if they like blew it up. Not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Solemn Strike. Absolutely hilarious card to play. Stops monster effects because a lot of monster effects out there go off. It gets really annoying, it gets really hard to take care of them, so you gotta run Strikes or Veilers just to stop them from using it. 2 copy of World Legacy Secret because you can target Macabre or Elysium and just bring it back. It's like Call of the Haunted, but it works for level 5 or higher monsters. And its other effect, negate any opponent's monster effect that activates in the same column as a Mekk Knight card. So this card was pretty terrifying. And then, finally, 2 copies of Waking the Dragon because my extra deck has like, I think 1 or 2 monsters in there that I could just bring out willy-nilly with Waking the Dragon because they kept on getting rid of it on the field, and so I was able to go off from there, and it was really funny seeing their reaction when they saw like Waking the Dragon go off. They're like, uh-oh, and I'm like, yep, you guys just got owned. Now, on to the extra deck. we're running one Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. Very good card to run in the deck. He acts like an Alistair on the field or graveyard. And then if you fusion summon to any zone he points to, you discard a card and add the Book of Law. So that's how he gets that OTK engine starting to run. Morningstar. Morningstar is really good. He adds a World Legacy card. So it works for World Legacy Secret. And then his other effect is if I have a Mekk Knight monster, say right here, and my opponent has a monster right over here, and they're attacking it, it won't be destroyed by battle. I don't take damage from it because it's not in the same column as a Mekk Knight. So Morningstar was really fun to use against it. Borlo to grab their monsters and to make them lose 500. Boral Sword, he gains the attack and then he just boop, boop, boop. You know, he just slowly pokes them over and over. Got pretty funny, got a little out of hand with him. Phoenix and Cerberus combo, because when they're both co-linked, they can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Destroys a spell or trap. Destroys a special summon monster in the main monster zone, and if they're both co-linked, you draw a card. That's your link starters. Then we're running 2 copies of Makaba, one of the best fusions. If your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, you basically discard a card of the same type they have, and it negate it and banish it. So Makaba's good. Plus it's a machine type, so it works good with real limiter removal. Elysium. Not just one, but I ran 2 copies of Elysium because he's absolutely busted. He can become any other type of attribute on the field. Then you banish him, or any Invoke Fusion monster in your graveyard, and all monsters your opponent controls that share the same attribute. So Elysium just basically, Elysium's a built-in evenly matched in a way. But yeah, he was fun. 1 Purgatrio, 1 Rajin, because Rajin just targets monsters, flips them face down, does piercing. Can attack all monsters, so Purgatrio was pretty terrifying. 1 Borload Savage Dragon. This card here was absolutely incredible because Ash is a tuner and Blue Sky was on the field, so I can easily go into Savage Dragon and just target like maybe a Cerberus or a Mekk Knight Morningstar and just go off from there. 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon because it works good with Waking the Dragon, because when they destroyed it, I basically brought out Crystal Wing and that terrified them a lot. And then my only level 5 Xyz monster I ran was Volcanosaurus because you basically have Blue Sky. You can bring out 2 of them on the field and then just go into a Volcanosaurus. That's the only thing that I liked about it. Other monsters in my deck were not level 5, so Blue Sky was the only one that actually had a good chance with it. Onto my side deck, I ran. You're running 1 copy of Biel's of the Diabolic Dragons. Works good with Waking the Dragons. Works good. Let's see here. Clearwing Synchro Dragon works good with, it basically works good with Ash and Alistair because it goes into level 7, so he's really fun. And say if he's on the field and if you have Effect Failure, you send Effect Failure on him and go into Crystal Wing, so it's pretty fun with that. 2 Honest, because most of my monsters in there are light types. 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so maybe take away the Effect Failures or Ashes or Scythes if I'm just trying to figure out a way. 1 BLS and 1 Chaos Emperor Dragon. Heads up on this Chaos Emperor Dragon if any of you guys are wondering. Let me show you guys this. You guys can probably not see it. It's an ultimate rare, it's 1st edition. Somehow it goes like for like 300 bucks online, which people are probably wondering, why do you have such an expensive card in your deck? Because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's absolutely an incredible card. Chaos Emperor Dragon was just about as annoying as Elysium or Evenly because pays 1,000, wipes out the field, and you and your opponent take, I think it's 300? I don't know, I'm gonna have to look later on, but BLS was good because he can banish and attack twice, and then he just annihilates the field. Let's see, 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, because it's just like Effect Failure, negates the effect, but they gain 400. 3 of the best traps in the set, I would have to say, were 3 copies of Red Reboot. This trap is absolutely incredible. This is also one of the traps that the guy used who won the YCS. He ran 3 copies of it, and I chose to run 3 because it's super good against a lot of decks, like if you're playing like, I don't know, if you're playing Evenly, if you're playing Solemn Strikes, you know, Red Reboot's a good one just to reset it, and then they can't activate traps the rest of the turn, so when you're still attacking, you just boop, 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 just kill them. And then finally 2 copies of Gozen. Gozen, really good. Most of my attributes in the deck are light type, so I don't really worry too much. Except for Alistair, you know, if he's in my opening hand and I have him activated and I only have a light type on the field, it's like, I can't summon Alistair unless that goes away or unless the monster I have on the field of that attribute goes away. But yeah, other than that, guys, that of course was my YCS Chicago deck profile. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys do, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Later.